Thank you for subscribing to the Chippy Tour. It's much appreciated, and this is my first video, so there's going to be plenty more, and I really enjoyed it. Right, this has been crazy, and I've been to Dollington's, and I'll put an image and all the details for the shop, for the Chippy, in the description. This is my first video doing this, so bear with me, and we'll work on it as we go. But it's not about me, it's not about things like this, which is great. I can just pull this out and we can have our fish and chips and whatever else we want wherever we go in the country. Right, okay, so what have we got? This Chippy has been serving fish and chips since 1950, or in the 1950s, and it's been under new management now for 6 years. They cook in beef dripping, and just the smell alone, I mean, beef dripping's my favourite. The guy was absolutely wonderful. The staff, both of them, the man and woman, they were absolutely fantastic, and the place was spotless. And they suggested that it could be under new management soon, but they'll be going through the training. The new owners will be going through the training on how they cook their haddock and their cod. They make homemade meat and potato pies. We've got lots of assortments here. We've got scallops. We've got what they sell as braised beef, and I've never had that before in a Chippy. But they do it all there. We've got cod, we've got haddock, we've got chips, and yeah, oh, scraps. Quite big scrap, that. Let's have a look at the fish. We've got haddock, and I'm going to take some pictures. Oh, I can zoom in, can't I? Half of it's missing. When my wife sat in the truck, she's starving, and she's having half of the haddock. Or, I mean, it was right to the end of that paper, almost. And look at that. It's not dripping in fat. It's dripping in dripping. So looks beautiful. Absolutely perfect. Let's have a look at the cod. I'm going to wrap that up a minute. Here. I'm sat on a stool here. At the back of me is the River Mersey, all the way to Liverpool, all the way to Manchester. There's a little bit of a break in it. 20 miles that way, 20 miles the other. Actually, the Mersey is 70 miles long. It's obviously winding and whatnot. And we're in Warrington, smack bang in the middle. And the Mersey actually leaves. It stops, it joins the Manchester Ship Canal, and then goes back into the Mersey, and obviously coming back the other way. It keeps the flow going in the Manchester Ship Canal. Keeps the levels up. Right. Look at this. How fantastic does that look? Let's take a little bit off. Oh, look at them flakes. Oh. Have a little bit more salt. A helicopter there. Might be on TV. Look at that. You know what? I think I would go for the cod over the haddock. The haddock's gorgeous. It's lovely. But off these couple of tastes here, let's get that back down. Look at that. Look how thick that is. Look at that for the haddock. Now haddock, it normally smells a little bit more fishy, not fishy, but it's got a stronger flavour, and It's a little bit more taste usually. Tastes fabulous, but oh, it's freezing. It's about 4 degrees C. Right, what else have we got? I'll leave them for a second. And we've got meat and potato pie made there. How often do you get a meat and potato pie made in the Chippy? Let's have a little look. That is definitely a meat and potato pie, not a potato and meat pie. Look at that. I'm reluctant to put that back in the bag. Right, let's get what we've got here. Scallops. Look at these beauties. Again, they're all cooked in the beef dripping. Oh, look at that sauce. The gravy. Oh, and the peas. Let me just give them a stir. Oh. Lovely. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Try this curry. It's chippy curry tasting, but a little bit spicy. There's more pepper in it. I'm shaking here. 4 degrees. I'm absolutely frozen to the bone, but it's worth it, isn't it? Ooh. Try a bit of gravy. Oh, that's fabulous. Have a little bit more of this. Oh, right, I'm going to put these back in here while we have a little bit of a look at something else. Let's look. Oh, right. Look at these. Quite big actually. These are all the fish scraps. Braised beef. Gotta try it. Gotta try it. Trial and error, people. What's happened to me? What's happened to my fork? Right, looks like a bomb's hit it, but I'm outdoors. Love it. Let's have a little look. Oh. Oh. Big chunks of beef. Fabulous. What have we got left? Chips. Now they've been sat in this bag for quite some time, so I don't expect them to be overly crispy. They're not crispy really, but they were when they came out because I tried one. You can taste the beef dripping on them. More salt. you know I'm loving it. For the first one, this is rated 4.7 on Google with plenty of reviews, so it's one of the highest rated in Warrington, and it's down a little what used to be a cobbled road, lots of terraced houses. You would miss it, and you're going along the road, you'd miss it easily, but don't. I'll give you all the details for it in the description, and I'll put a little flag on the map on the website, which is the chippytour.com, and there's loads of information on there. And yeah, God, I'm loving it. I'm going to dip some of this in this gravy. I'm going to go back, once we've eaten this, I'm going to go back to the house, back to the computer, and I'm going to give it my review. And we're going to look at some other reviews that were there and see what they said and see how it is with me. But up to now, well, from what I've eaten here, it's not going to be a bad review. This is my first video of a fish and chip review, or chippy review, and I had a wonderful time. And it might take me a little while to get into the swing of it. And for example, I could have done with moving some of the papers out of the way. I'd move them to the side and not in front of me. You know, I could have done something like that. Maybe get another camera a bit closer, but no, I really enjoyed myself. It was 5 degrees C, so horrible, but it was dry, so great. And the food, it was something else. I can't believe all these years, basically approximately 40 years in Warrington, and it was there all the time. It's been there since 1950 something, and it was under a different management then. It's under new management now for the last 6 years, but I believe it's changing hands again, according to the owner. When, he's not 100% sure, but he's training the new owners and their staff to cook the way it's been cooked since 1950 in the beef dripping, hopefully. The owners were so helpful. They didn't know that I was reviewing, and I doubt they actually got a hint that I was reviewing. But I did order an awful lot of things, and there was only my wife and I in the chippy. And then I did take a photograph from outside, but only when most of the stuff was cooked. So let's go to the reviews. Here we've got Dollington's Fish Bar. It's 20 Dudley Street, Warrington, W827BQ. And take cash along. A lot of the chippies these days deal with cash. You'll also find their website at DOLLINGTON'S.online. So check that out too. So back to the reviews. Let's have a little look. See what people have said for the last, say, 6 months to a year. I'm not interested if it's 10 years ago. I really don't care, because things change. And a lot of chippies can go off what people have said, and they'll make improvements. They'll make those adjustments, and that'll do for me. So we've got one here. 3 months ago. It's a 5-star review. Lovely family ran fish and chips. Always feel welcome, and service and chat is superb. Food is fresh, prepared with care, and even though we live a 15, I'm taking it's miles, it could be minutes, drive away, the fish is still nice and crispy when we get home. Highly recommended. Now, they had a deal on when we were there, and it was £6.50 for cod and chips, maybe haddock and chips and peas and gravy. £6.50. You know, not a lot of places you can't get a fish for that these days. So take advantage of that if you're local. Here's a 3-star. Good price, £4.50 for the fish, chips and mushy peas, and around £3 for doner meat. Fish and chips were decent, but not as special as the high ratings suggest. It offers unusual items, and I'll come to try them sometime and amend my rating as appropriate, okay? Now, everybody's entitled to leave a review if they've had a bad experience. Now, I'm not out to destroy businesses. I understand how tough it is, but at the same time, if I got food poisoning on the spot, or a rat ran out from under the counter, it's going to get a bad review. But it's not going to get a bad review just because I didn't like the gravy, or the chips were a bit off, or the fish was too small. It's not going to get a 1-star review. It's not going to get a 5-star review either. In town for a weekend and drove here from Sankey based on Google reviews. And it was one of my childhood chippers. Took 87 minutes to get served. Not a typo, that's 87 minutes. I have never seen anything like this service here. Decent queue outside when we got there, but expected a Good Friday based on its rep. Very slow moving, assumed they'd ran out of something, so we're waiting for it to cook. After half an hour, was up to the shop front. Finally got into the shop, 8 people in front of us, took 45 minutes to serve them, cooked to order. Yes, but guys, seriously, this is relating to the time obviously, not an extensive menu, and everyone was getting fish and chips. I mean, that says something, doesn't it? As for the food, flavour was good, fish of average quality, but batter not crispy, and both that and the chips were super greasy. Incredibly disappointed, would never return, and people should be aware you might have to wait a ridiculous amount of time for pretty standard fare for boarding. Okay, that's how they felt, and that's absolutely up to them. Straight into a 1-star review. Was it worth a 1 star? It was to them, I guess. But okay, so let's put ours in. So let's put mine in. Right, okay, I'm going with a 5-star, and I'm so thrilled that my first review for the Chippy Tour is a 5-star, and it was excellent. You know, I'm just thrilled. Food, I just couldn't fault it. There was nothing, absolutely nothing I could fault about it. Service, again, impeccable. Atmosphere, it's a chippy. I'm going for 5. It felt like a chippy. Now, what about the wording? Let's have a little look. A hidden gem discovered. Residing in Warrington for nearly 4 decades, Dollington's fish bar had eluded me until now. Despite consistently hearing praises, I only visited them today, a decision that led to no regrets. The cleanliness of Dollington's was immediately noticeable, complemented by the courteous and accommodating owners. The service was impeccable, notably their choice to fry in beef dripping. A personal favourite of mine, enticed me to try a variety of their dishes. Each was flawless. The fish was plump, the batter crispy and tasty, the chips were thick, absorbing the flavour of the beef dripping, and the pie was exceptional. The braising steak featured tender chunks of steak in the tastiest gravy. Overall, Dollington's earns a well-deserved 5-star from me, and I eagerly anticipate my next visit. So that's it. Join me on the next one. Where I'll be, I've no idea. My wife wants to go along as well, so we can make a day of it. And yeah, we really enjoyed ourselves. We had a really good time. Subscribe to the channel, like I say, the Chippy Tour.